This is volume 34 of Lenin's collected works, printed by Progress Publishers in 1986. And there's something very interesting about this book that you'll see once I open up the inside. So this is a hardcover book, and it's bound in this brown hard paper material. I'm not too sure what exactly it's made of though. It's got that very nice textured appearance. And then we have this motif of Vladimir Lenin himself stamped on the front cover. As you can see, it has some depth to it. And then we also have the word Lenin stamped on the front cover as well, in this sort of dull gold foiling. The spine says Lenin Collected Works, and the 34 right here is for volume 34 of this series. I'm not sure how big this series is, but if this is volume 34, it must be pretty big. And the back cover is completely blank. The page edges look like this. They're just plain white and they are trimmed. And we do have a headband as well. It is red and white. Going inside the book, we have these sort of yellowed end papers. I'm not sure if this is intentional or if this is what happened over time, but they've got this cream yellow. They do look a bit discolored though. They are normal paper though, and not cardstock. Then we have this first title page, and as you can see, it says Lenin Collected Works 34, and at the top it says Workers of all countries unite. And when I first opened this book, I thought that was interesting that they would include that at the top, but flipping to the next page makes it all come together. So at the top of this page, it says the Russian edition was printed in accordance with a decision of the 9th Congress of the RCP and the 2nd Congress of Soviets of the USSR. And that gave me a good idea of why that line was on the first page. And this right here proves it. So this is a dual title page with this one in Russian. And as you can see, right at the bottom, it says Progress Publishers, Moscow. So this book was printed in the former USSR. And on the back of this page right here, you can see 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th printing, 1986, printed in the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics. So when I saw this book in a Goodwill, I thought that was quite interesting, and I decided to buy it because of that. So back to this dual title page, we have the title in this red right here, Collected Works, Volume 34, and it is Lenin's letters from November 1895 to November 1911. And the Russian page, I'm guessing, says something similar to that, but I can't read Russian, of course. It says translated from the Russian by Clement Dutt, edited by Bernard Isaacs, right here. And there's a publisher's note here, translated from the 4th Russian edition of Lenin's Collected Works. Corrections have been made in some of the letters and notes in accordance with the 5th Russian edition. And then on the bottom left, there's this interesting piece of text, but I'm not sure what exactly it means. It must be the sort of ISBN and publishing code that they used in the USSR. Here's the contents. So they organized his letters by year. And there are quite a lot of them in here. The paper of this book is pretty standard. It does feel interesting though. There's something different about it, but I can't tell what exactly that is. This book does not lay open flat at all. It is bound very tightly. And that sound is the spine creaking a little bit. as I open the pages for the first time in many years. As you can see, it doesn't close by itself, but it doesn't want to lay flat either. It's not the worst binding I've ever seen. We have notes here at the end. And the back does have this little 45 written in pen. I'm not sure what that means though. But that's all about the book itself. I did think it was very interesting that this book was printed in a state that no longer exists. The USSR, of course. So I'm glad to have this little piece of USSR history in my library. And one more thing about this book is that it does have a very interesting smell, but I can't really tell what this book smells like. It just has something that I've never smelled in a book before. So that's interesting. And I did just notice that these page edges are different here than they were here. So they may have switched to a different type of paper in the middle of printing this book. As you can see, these page edges are ever so slightly more white than these ones right here. It turns yellow right about there. That's all for this book, though. Quite interesting, and thank you very much.